Alex is the name, stock market is the game. Welcome back to a new episode of the S&P 500 and more. Here's something almost nobody tells you about the S&P 500. You are not just investing in the most valuable companies in the world, you are investing in the minds of the people behind them. And that one idea can change the way you think about long-term investing forever. I will explain exactly what I mean later in the clip. I promise you, once you get it, everything will change. Welcome back to this amazing series, episode 2 of the investment journey. Previously on the S&P 500 and more, in the first part we discussed who I am and why I'm doing this, with a few pointers into the S&P 500 and an introduction to the game. I think it's only fair that today we go in a bit deeper into the whys. Why the S&P 500? Why? And yet again, stick to the end of the clip where I give you my top tip, top reason as to why you should sign into this venture. The top reason why you should aim for this investment plan. I haven't seen it or heard it anywhere else, online or offline. Bonus tip, I'm going to share the activities you could enjoy on this amazing beach that was also featured in the first episode. Why you should think of the S&P 500, America's top 500 companies? Well, obviously, because of that, they are not only America's top 500 companies, but they are also ever changing. In the unfortunate case that they become less profitable, there is always another one more successful to take its place. And as you can probably see over the years, many companies that were very successful, such as the hard industries, energy and old school consumer brands, got replaced by tech companies like Microsoft, Apple and Nvidia. Another fair reason to go for the S&P 500 is that in recent years salaries went downhill while the stocks only went up. The salaries are just absorbed by inflation and never going up the way they should. You go to the supermarkets and get out with an empty shopping cart after dropping your wallet. The buying power isn't what it was 10 or 15 years ago. And I'm not even going to start you off with the state pension. Will there even be one in 20 years' time? You can very easily verify on the S&P 500 the yearly charts. The uptrend can be seen. Only time is going down is during a crisis. Such as the 2008 housing market, COVID, or sometimes when Trump comes up with who knows what kind of wild ideas. But check this, every time it comes up stronger and higher. Just do not sell during a crisis. Well, best is not to sell at all. But most importantly, don't sell during a crisis. Charlie Munger once said, "Do you want to know why the rich get richer? Because they stay calm while everyone else loses control. They think in decades, not days. They don't react to headlines or tweets." But when am I supposed to sell, Alex? When? What is my take on it? Well, never sell. Leave it out from the interest, from the dividends paid to you in time. Long-term investment takes time, that is true. It can be 20 to 25 years. But consider it as a backup. a super backup to whatever you are doing, and not just a backup, but a sure bet that will eventually start paying you. Even if your business slows down, even if your salary doesn't increase, or even if you decide you hate your boss and you just don't want to see him, one day the S&P 500 will provide a steady 10% increase every year on your investment. Yes. If you do the math, 500 euros per month for 30 years mean 180,000 euro. Put it in the S&P 500 and that compound interest will bring you over €1,000,000 in the same time. People think it's a complicated matter. Easy is easy. Buy and never sell. Don't try to pick stocks. Most times that never works out. Another thing Charlie Munger said, people think investing is for smart people or Wall Street people. They are overwhelmed by too much information, or they think you need huge amounts of money. Well, the truth, you don't need to be a genius. You don't need to know the charts. You just need patience and consistency. Now for my top tip, the real reason why the S&P 500 is such a strong long-term plan. Those leaders are some of the most driven, focused and committed individuals on the planet. They wake up thinking about their business. They go to sleep thinking about their business. And most of them barely have a life outside of what they are building. You are not just buying stocks, you are buying a piece of their mind, their discipline, their vision, and their obsession with improving, innovating, and staying ahead of everyone else, people. When you invest in the S&P 500, it's like saying, here is my money. Now let the most determined, high-performing people out there build something with it. And they do, year after year, decade after decade. That is why long-term investing works. Not because companies magically grow, but because the people behind them refuse to stop pushing forward. And if you want a real lifetime example of what I mean, just look at Elon Musk. You may like him or not, but one thing is undeniable. The man is driven. He sleeps in factories, works insane hours, and pours every drop of energy he has into pushing his business. Which means that if you invest in the S&P 500, Elon Musk is essentially working for you. His discipline, his vision, his obsession with progress, they all contribute to the growth of the index. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to build a rocket. You don't need to run a multi-billion-dollar company. You just own a tiny piece of his work. And he keeps building, innovating, pushing, while your investment grows. Finally, making it so far into the clip means a lot to me. And as promised, this amazing beach is called Falesia Beach. And it's amazing for surfing, stand-up paddling, jogging, and even mountain biking. Obviously sunbathing. It's a beautiful December day and it's perfect for short sleeve. Or even getting a bit of a tan line. Maybe a bit later in the morning. Now it's too early. So, if you found one idea valuable today. Hit the like button and subscribe. Episode 3 is going to go even deeper.